Hey, Bevan Bird here. You might remember this image from July 7th. It's where I ended the video with some experiments. I want to share a few things with you today, and I use this as a starting place with some experiments today. And this is a bit of a warm-up video before I show how I made this piece here based on a photo of myself. You can see a few here that I upscaled, and so, all right, so you can see that that wasn't the only one I made. But I liked this one better. It was closer, and I showed it to a few friends. That's that one there. Okay, so yeah, before we get into that, we're also going to talk about deep versus wide and what it means. So when I was experimenting on July 7th, you can see some upscales here from that, right? So I'll show you that. So that was going wide because it's basically making variations of multiple things at a time, looking at, exploring possibilities or generating more possibilities. So you can see that here. That's what going wide is. And if we're talking about the shape of a family tree, right? So first I'll illustrate the thing about the family tree slightly, not with a diagram, but just a simple example. And then we'll look at going deep. Okay, so this one right here, what's the parent of this one? You scroll down, here's the parent. That's because I upscaled number 4 from this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I upscaled that one. And well, what's the parent of this? It will show you here if there is one. There isn't one. It's got an image prompt, right? And it's got this text prompt. There's no parent. But upscaling this, so that's where it started, right? If we re-roll that same prompt, then we'll get more because each time we run it, we get these random ones, right? This is one of them. I upscaled that. So that family tree starts there, and then this one is a child of it, right? And so I used that as a starting point, and I was also experimenting and using photos of people, right? Uh, because this is what we're talking about here. But we're going to get into that in the next video, or in one, yeah, basically in the next video. But in this one, as an experiment, playing around, that's what I was doing. So I did start with this one as a starting point. I also looked at some of the other ones around here, like back then, so you can see them here. I took a look and I generated some variations of certain ones, like here I picked 3, right? Did variations of this one. Yeah, we don't like that little delay when it loads, but nothing we can do about that. So I made some variations of certain ones and upscaled them, as you can see here, like 1, 2, and 4. And I looked back up because there was some other good ones too before this, but I hadn't done anything with them. So here I did that today, generated some more. So this was just to explore some more possibilities. It was to generate some in preparation for a future one when I would show an example of going deep, which I will do in the future. So I generated some, okay? And in this video, when I show you some of the recent experiments, we'll get to that in a moment, those it's not exactly an example of going deep, but it's in between, right? And you'll see that in a moment. So I didn't want to throw these other ones away, so I started to generate some variations of them or re-roll. If they happen to be good, I re-roll it as well, because then we'll get more like these. Okay, so that's what I did. I scrolled back until it went to something else, right? So I did that, and that created a whole bunch, and then I did variations of them, and so started to go deep somewhat, but it's a mix of deep and wide, and you'll see that in a moment. So these are these images. Number 18 from Just for Fun Energy, right? You saw that one already. This is what I mixed with I think I mixed it with this one, and that resulted in this, but it also resulted in other things. This was just one of the better ones that I liked. You can see that right here. Okay, and then photos. A photo of Alicia and a photo of Donna. Okay, so now you will see what I did when I started to make some variations, and then from some of those offspring, right, like results, evolutions, variations of them, and variations of variations, and so on, of certain ones of those, I started to remix them and start to input these faces combining with this one. Okay, and that's what you will see here. So that's the new, it'll be the new stuff since the last video. So this was back here with July 7th and it ended here. So everything after that is new. So now you will see those. So these are the upscales that I generated. There's other ones that are not upscaled, and there's quite a large number more of those. So, but just looking at these, you'll get an idea from it. So you can see here's Donna. Okay, so just take a look through these. Now, not all of them will be based on these photos, right? At first, they're just based on this, or they're just variations from before. So they might be based on the dragon and the this one. Okay, so you'll see those here, but then at a certain point, then it will be clear that they are based on a photo, right? So at a certain point. And so, yeah, it's generating more possibilities, right? So it's not exactly going deep, it's kind of going wide, but it was also going deep in a way, or transitioning into it, because it's creating with a purpose, or on a mission, or with a kind of a vision. So you'll see that here, how these ones are becoming more similar. So yeah, this is where we're using what we had before, right? Certain ones, and then combining them with Alicia. You can see that resemblance in here, right? Here and here. Okay. This one's very close to the photo, but that's also because I removed the influence of 18. It only had this one. So that's why this one's so similar to the photo. It's still in the jungle, right? But it's using an influence from some image already being in the jungle. Like for example, with this one, we could look at it and see how did I create it? Like track back through the family tree. Since we're talking about the family tree, and you can visualize it like a family tree, a diagram, like ancestry. And so that's what we'll look at. Okay, so what's the parent of this one? Right, we'll go and click that, and something similar. Well, I upscaled one of them. If you want to know which one, you can actually see that too. We won't look at that right now, but okay. So because I'd have to go back. Well, this doesn't have any other parent, as you can see. There's no parent listed. So yeah, we'll go back to the offspring. I think it was this one, number 4, and I will show you it here. So if you go open in new tab. So if we do that, you can see right here 0, 3. So that 3, you just have to add a 1 to that number, and it'll tell you that's 4, and that tells you which one it is. So this one, when you go back to the parent, you'll see that that one is number 4. It's not one of these, and I did upscale number 4. And if you go open in Discord, then you will see, you'll have a tab like this open where you can interact with them if you want, like reroll. So we'll get more of these. See, because it's in remix, I can change the prompt when I re-roll it, and we'll try that too. So for example, mix Alicia with it right back here, right back at something that I already generated on July 7th, right? So image, Alicia headshot, golden hour. Okay. See, it's in remix mode, so we can change the prompt when we do a variation or remix. And if we don't change the prompt, it's just running it the same way that it was before. So it's not really remixing it, it's just re-rolling. Okay, so here we go. This is that post, right? Open in Discord. Okay, so there you can see that I upscaled 4 and did variations of it. Okay, now, yeah, so that one right there. Remember, this is the parent, and the only offspring was when I did that, upscale 4. I also did variations, so those, if you find them, right, if you know where they are, then their parent would also be this one, right? Family tree. So yeah, the thing with the why was it 3, right, in that image file? Well, because it goes in a counting in a computer, like in a list or indexing, starting at 0, counting starting from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3. But what we're used to is 1, 2, 3, 4, as you can see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what they mean. So yeah, that's why you have to add one to the file name. If you open it in a new tab, there it is, and it's, well, not this one. This is a whole grid, so that's why the file name is like this. But when we're on that one specifically, then that's what you get. It says 03. The 3 is the part that indicates which one it was, and that was indexing starting at 0, so you have to add one. A little confusing, right? It results in the off by 1 errors because of that. But that's a human error that we can make. Okay, so now we'll just continue on with this. So the latest upscales are there, and then that now you can see that because they're similar, it's almost like going deep. Like if you build from these, if we say from this one, how many generations did I have to go through to produce this, right? Okay, so here's the parent, and then you'll just do that repeatedly until there aren't any more parents. So we had to do that once. There weren't really any more. It's like it just says that I had this prompt and these 2 image prompts into it. Okay, but I believe there is a parent because I probably, like, to me, I don't think I just put the prompt in with the images and just ran it. It says remix. I'm pretty sure that I did a variation of something that existed before, and it resulted in this. And when I did that variation, I edited it, right, and added in the images or an image into the prompt, which resulted in this. So to me, it had a parent. It just doesn't show that here. So that's confusing. So we can't really, these are actually other people's work down here. So we can't actually do that because we can't follow the parent. So let's ignore that. There's nothing we can do about it right now. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is then just explain what I mean by deep then. Because if wide is exploring possibilities, making variations of multiple different things, then what is deep? That would be like working with a purpose, right? Focusing on a single piece of art, making variations of it, choosing the best or the ones you like best or closest to the vision, and then doing multiple variations of that same process. And so building a deep family tree. Going deep results in more generations, like more of evolution in a shorter period of time, and helps you achieve an end result quicker. So that's what deep is. It's like that book, Deep Work by Cal Newport. So it's focusing on a specific thing. So you can see that here because it's a combination of wide and deep, but it was transitioning from wide into deep here. As you can see as I scroll back, yeah, that's what it is. And so then if you wanted to make a final product, I would pick something from the possibilities and then make variations of it until it gets to the final product. Because one thing I'm doing is making an image or like art of Alicia jumping into a cenote. It's a different thing. But here, this is working on the character, right? So then this character in the jungle could then jump into the cenote, right? So this can be one of the inputs building that. So it's creating a mythical character also based on a real person. And of course, combined with 18, which is also based on other stuff from before. Okay. All right, so then we'll go back a little bit. And I will give an example of actually going deep in a future video. So what I did today when I started to generate these ones, as you can see here, it's not only these, because there's actually more that I'm not showing you here, because these are only the upscales. The grids are the ones that weren't, I mean, it doesn't mean they weren't upscaled, it's just before they're upscaled. So if we go to grids, you'll see that there are many more than what's here. Okay, so anyway, I generated some, and that's to create possibilities in order to pick something. Of course, I could just start from this one here, right, and then go deep, building something on purpose, like the Space Babes or Space Babes of the Cosmos, for example. Maybe based on this, maybe create this character, and then once I get it how I wanted it, and then it's like a kind of a specific species, right, on a specific planet. Okay, so then start to build a population of the people, like in that tribe, so of the same species and on that same planet. So there's more of a population of them, for an NFT collection, instead of just being one individual. But I would start with one and then make variations of it. Like it lets you make subtle variations or more varied. Let's see. So this is back. This is where I was looking at what I'd already generated around that time on July 7th. There's some other ones I ignored, so I went back to that. You can see quite stunning. But this one is here. So getting that one was you just click U4, right? Upscale 4. So that one you'll see is over here. And so you could just do strong variations of it, like vary them more, or you can do subtle variations of them. And that will start to make more of a population of those ones. Or we can do that until we decide on one and say, okay, that's one of them. That is one of those people of that species on that planet, right? Because it's world building as well as the character at the same time. But once we choose one, we can say that's one of them, and then we'll do variations and build a population. So if we were doing that, like using it for a certain purpose, that would be going deep. And what I did when I went back here was just to make a few more possibilities, because there were some that I already generated, like these, and so I wanted to explore them, and then we might use those for something. So then you would go deep after going wide. Right, and then another one. Okay. Well, as I was saying, you could go to grids, but I don't think I should, because it's going to be distracting. Because you can see here, that's how many there are with upscales, right? You can only imagine how many there will be with grids, probably a lot more, because I only upscaled like the best ones. And those are basically like the ones that I made variations from. And some of them hadn't even had variations made of them yet. But upscaling them, it has filtered them, so they're now in this list, right, where we can look at it, we can scroll through and find them, right, and then you can also go like this, right, and mark them, and yeah, curate, like choose the best one or the best ones, and then make variations of those, right, and build the population. Okay, for some purpose. So now we'll go back and I'll talk about another example, like another thing you could do. There's that dragon in the Mexican mural style thing that I based them on, which is how we got here. But let's go back. And so there's kind of like a cute baby dragon or something, maybe like this one. I think there's others. We're probably going to have to go to this and then go to its parent. So I'll just hold down Control when I click that, because otherwise it will go directly to that page. But then when I come back here, it's not necessarily on the same place, especially if I used a search to filter what's in here. So I just hold Control and click it, so it opens in a new tab. So we still have this, so we can continue if we want to here. Okay, so here we have this one. So I was thinking you could have a character like a little baby dragon thing, and then he could be like a character for a children's book or a series. Of course, it could just start with one book. There's the parent of that one. So let's see. And you can see that first, right? It was like already loaded, so it knew about it. And so we could see which one it was. That helps, of course, which is really good. Okay, so I chose that one out of these, right? And upscaled it, exactly. Yeah, and that's other people's things. Okay, so once you get that character, right, we can open it in Discord, for example. We'll get a tab, and then we can start to make variations of that one, and modify the style of it if we want, turn it into that character, and if we do that and decide to like make a book out of that thing, that would be going deep, because you have a purpose. You're doing something for a reason. Even just taking this one and then making a character out of it is going deep, because you're working on a single thing, if you were to do that. Okay, so say we do this, vary it subtly. It only has Lisa Frank there, right? We might want more artists. Mobius. Okay, so it's like a finely detailed illustration, a strange creature. It's kind of dragon thing. Um, a strange and cute dragon-like creature. Okay, I'll copy that. So subtle variations of this with that. Now, to get that style, we might want to have a bigger list of artists in there, whatever, right? I'm not working on that right now. I'm just saying, for example, if you did that. So if you develop that character and get it, that would be going deep. Once you have that character, then if you want to make a children's book and illustrate it, you could like either write a story, get someone to write a story, or you could get a whole story written by ChatGPT, and then based on that story, you could then make the world, right? World building. So create these scenes that the character will be in, as well as the character being in those scenes, and have that character consistent throughout them, right? And that way you could illustrate a book. So that would also be going deep because you're working with a purpose. And if you're working on one specific image for that first, that character consistently, right, in a certain scene until you get that scene done, that would be going deep rather than working on multiple scenes at once, which would be going wide. Okay, I hope that helps. So now we have the first video talking about deep versus wide. That's this video here. And in the next video, then I'm going to go into this example of making something based on a photo of yourself. So we've got this picture right here, and then the photo that I based it on is in here, right? Okay, so I will set up for that next video and then share it with you. I believe that's all I wanted to do in this one, and you did have an introduction into deep versus wide, so that's good. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.